thing so you can see my board okay, hopefully. Because I'm going to put together a lasagna. So I'm doing my third type of raw vegan lasagna. So just wanted to show you a few tips and tricks as I'm putting it together. This ground I just took out of the dehydrator. You can see that okay. And if you want a recipe for that, there is sort of a similar recipe when you make your raw vegan burgers. You can use that base and then just add different flavors to create a ground. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be putting in. I use spices like basil and oregano in this one because I'm wanting it that kind of Italian sort of flavor instead today. So, but you can change it up. You can use cumin. You can do a Mexican lasagna like I did last time. What I also did here, I'll show you, is a wonderful red pepper sauce to put in the lasagna. So that's sort of like my cheese sauce. So instead of like a grated cheese, you create a cheesy sauce, and that's like and that gets the moisture in there as well and the flavor. So we're going to use that today. And then another trick for all of you is when you use a mandolin to cut your slices of zucchini, and you can see how mobile that is. It's not stiff, and it's not just because of the thinness. It's actually because you put slight little bit of salt on top, and then you put them in paper towels like I have here, and literally if I take this paper towel off, it's soaked. So it gets it to get wet, and wet creates your noodle effect, right? So it's just like noodles that that other people use to build their lasagna. So you see how, and you want them nice and thin too. If you can get it like this, it's ideal, because they are going to be cooking in the dehydrator at a low temperature for a longer period of time. That's the main difference with this lifestyle, okay? So a pan like this is ideal, like a nice glass one would be ideal, right? I'm probably going to be making 2 lasagnas today because I think I have enough, but so I've got this one here, and what you do to start off with is you place, hope you can see that okay, some sauce onto the bottom first, just enough to coat the noodles. So you can see how I'm spreading it around, making it even. You can kind of shake your pan, that'll do the same. So about that much sauce on the bottom. Okay. Next, starting to layer your lasagna. I'm sure you guys have done this with regular lasagna, or we should say not regular, but I guess the norm. Let me try and fix the camera here so if we can see that okay. So we'll do our first layer one way. So just like people did with pasta. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let me layer just a couple more and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. There we go. So you're going to do a layer like that, okay? And then goes our ground. And just like, your traditional lasagnas, you're going to spread it around. Smells really good. Actually, I forgot one ingredient I'm just going to grab in the fridge is my vegan parm. Because you're going to sprinkle a little bit of that on each level of the lasagna. So I'll just show you one sec. Okay. So this is the vegan parm I use. You can make your own too, but unfortunately I haven't tried that part yet. Okay, so I just sprinkle a little on my ground, and now I'm going to top it off with sauce. Now how much sauce is your preference, right? You can't really go wrong, because I didn't find it dry at all. I've actually found it super moist. I was very surprised. Maybe it's how long you leave it in the dehydrator after. I don't know, but I didn't find it dry at all. So, and this is about the same amount as I put before. So I just basically drizzle it on, all right? And now do the next level. So the next level, try and remember which way you went and go the opposite way. It turned out really great, these pieces of lasagna. This is actually a zucchini that a neighbor friend gave Brent yesterday. And they're huge zucchinis, like massive. So this was a good use for them. Okay, almost done. So that's my second layer. And again, same thing. And you can see, like, we're not having to add much to this lasagna because there's already like carrots, onion, and sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds in this ground. Okay, so you do have veggies in this ground as well. And plus this is a veggie lasagna because it's made with zucchini. So there's no point adding more veggies to it, I don't think. I mean, you could, certainly, but you're getting tons of veg with this lasagna. So here's my other layer. I'm gonna save the rest for my other mini lasagna that I'm gonna make. Oop. Okay. And so when you put the ground in the dehydrator too, I just did it for about 45 minutes, just enough to make it come together, okay, and get a tiny bit crispy, but not too much. So it's very moist still, and that's what you want, because you don't want it to be too dry in there, right? So that's my second layer. And once again, a little bit of vegan parm. Pop that on there. Okay, and then we're going to go for our sauce again. So you usually get 2 or 3 layers on this pan, I find, which is perfect. Okay. It smells so good, this sauce. I wish I could get you all to smell it. And all it is was a roasted red pepper, or not roasted, sorry. A red pepper, a raw red pepper, and I soaked some pine nuts and cashews, added some lemon juice, some garlic, and then some fresh herbs, and some nutritional yeast to make it cheesy. That's it. And you get this beautiful cheese sauce. So now let's do our top layer. And I've got somebody here, I've got Bella here watching. She's the supervisor. She's like, what are you making? Can you give me some? That's what she's thinking. Okay, so I'm gonna layer it the opposite way. And I like to peel the zucchini only just to make it look more noodle-ish, right? But you don't have to. That's just me being like my visual self. Okay. Almost done. These are going to turn out great actually, because I can tell how nice and fine the noodles came out, which is so nice. And that's my top layer, right? So you can see, I don't know if you can see the side there, right? So technically you could probably do 2 more, but we're going to do, I think, just this. Now I'm changing my mind. No. I think I'm going to top it off with sauce, because I still want to do my one mini one too. Let me just take a look here. I do have quite a bit of sauce, so that's a good thing. I wasn't sure if I'd have enough. And with the sauce, I also put some zucchini in it to get more of it, because it doesn't change the flavor of it, but it adds volume. So instead of adding water, which would change the flavor, right? You don't have to add too much water to it. And you just keep adding more zucchini and you get more volume because it's got water in it, but it doesn't change the flavor. So that is our lasagna. And then I'm going to top it off So I've got to open a new one of these with some parm. Okay. And that, my dears, is a raw vegan lasagna. How long did that take? 5-10 minutes at the most? It's not very long. This will now sit in your dehydrator, let's say for 4 hours, 4.5 hours, and it's done. So literally you could do this in advance the night before, you could do it in the morning, and then in the afternoon, pop it in before dinner time, and it's done. And some people, actually some raw vegans, won't even put it in a dehydrator. They'll just eat it like this. And there's nothing wrong with that too. It'll still be delicious, especially if you let it sit for a while, and you can leave it at room temperature and then just slice it. It'll be delicious. So either way is something you can do. So anybody can do this, anybody. So I just wanted to show you that. Hope you enjoyed my video.